Hello and welcome back to another BeeHive tutorial. In today's episode, we'll touch upon the BeeHive database system, the transaction history window, and how to see and restore past states of the BeeHive database. To start up, I first need to make a BeeHive server. I will do that over here on the right. I've already opened up the Roam scene. Let me just navigate to show you the directory for that. Here you can see in BeeHive it's unsynced. I can rectify that by right-clicking it and synchronizing it to the database. Now let's make a client and try and join this BeeHive server. Over on the left, I need to verify my details and hit connect. After the connection is successful, it will take a few seconds for BeeHive to start syncing data to your local database. Once Unreal starts to sync and build the static mesh, you'll be unable to use the scene. When this finishes, you will now be able to navigate through the content directory as you normally would, and in the Synced tab you can see the Roam scene is loaded. I can now double-click the Roam scene and open the map as I normally would. You can instantly see my avatar joins in the bottom of the window. Up here at the top I have some test objects that we can manipulate so that we can go over the BeeHive database. Upon moving an object in the scene, you will be given a Edit or Wrench icon. This goes for changing scale, changing the name, really editing anything about a scene object. By deleting an object, you'll be given a trash can icon. And by adding objects, like this new type of column into the scene, you'll be given a plus sign. I'm going to rotate this little facade to face the camera, and then I'm going to bring the Unreal server up to view these new edits. Now that we have a basic understanding of the BeeHive transaction window and the icons that it displays, let's try and have a real interaction with BeeHive and see how you can use it in your production. Here I have a section of my scene where two characters will have an intimate conversation. I don't like how open the scene currently is, so I'm going to make some edits to try and close off this section of the scene so they can have a secure conversation. Now, while this looks good, I feel, the biggest problem I'm having is that there's just not enough angles to see inside of this little alcove. And most of my content or my action is going to happen right here on this chair and desk. So let's see what we can do to make this a little more open, but yet still closed off to the scene. So over here on the left, I'm going to start going backwards in time and viewing the edits I made to the scene. Here you can see I've enlarged the potted plants, but not the bushes. By clicking the backwards arrow, I can now make this the current state for all connected users. Now, I can have a much better view of these two objects if I was to delete maybe the sides of these bushes. So I'm going to go ahead and select and delete both sides of the bushes. Okay, and now if we re-enlarge these corner pieces, let's see how this looks. Great, really closed off from the edges, but it still doesn't have a secure feeling to it, as if this is a place where you can have a secret conversation. One more change I think we can do is try and bring back maybe one or two of these walls. Now we can talk more about the intricacies that are involved with the BeeHive transaction history window and what it means to go backwards and to view a previous history state. So I've switched my BeeHive window into newest first for the history transactions. This means that the most recent transaction is at the top of the UI. And as I use the server to go backwards in time, you can see how the transaction history window visually will show you which edits are not currently affecting the visual representation of your scene. If you were to select one of these objects, let me try and choose one which I'm not working with. I'll choose this point light here. You'll see I can select the point light, but when I go to the details to try and edit the attributes about it, I'm unable to. This is because past history states are preserved. They are never editable. Instead, you must either exit a past history state if you want to edit an item, or in this case, what we actually want to do is first select the past history state we want to move to. And I think I like the one where only one wall remains. There's all walls deleted. Okay. So now we have one wall left here. And if I click the back arrow, now I can come back in with the past history state now with the current history state. I can select all these objects and change any attribute about them which I wish. In this case, I want to put the height up to the ceiling. And I really like this. I have one closed off section that allows me to get some nice camera angles with depth of field, potentially looking very closed off. But I've also got these 3 entry holes into the alcove so I can line up and frame much easier than I would have been able to before. This concludes the tutorial series for the Glassbox BeeHive plugins. Thank you for joining us.